All right, give it a dry run here.
Ask your mom.
Ask your mom.
Ask your mom.
Ask your mom.
Wow, Aberlour, Casg, and a brand new addition to the Savor the Burn experience on this episode of Savor the Burn.
Let's go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, days and thens, to another episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the barrels from me is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited for tonight.
Yeah,
we're gonna have some good pours, and we got some good friends.
Yeah, special guest is showing up. Who is this? What's going on here?
This is my good friend Josh Barber, which I realized earlier today that 1 degree difference kicked things off in the 2002, end of 2002, which means that we've known each other for 21, going on 22 years.
Jesus Christ.
Not too shabby.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yes, very awesome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Well, before we get into this, make sure that you're following along everywhere that you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to click subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay all up to date on all things Savor the Burn. Let's cut to the chase, man.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
I don't think we've put it out there on any of our socials yet, so I'll just let this be the first episode that kind of tells people that make sure your shelf units that are storing your precious whiskeys is sturdy and is not on casters, can handle the weight of all of the magnificent bottles on the shelf. I had a shelf that failed a couple weeks ago, and I ended up losing 16 bottles. And one of them was, I think there was at least about a half bottle of the Aberlour 12 year, which was a really, really good pour. And so I've kind of been trying to decide which ones I want to replace, which ones I want to just go, I'm okay not replacing. Glenlivet 12.
Yeah, which one?
It was a decent pour, but
which bottle had the big chunk out of the bottom of it?
That was one of my Rieger's bottles.
One of the Rieger's.
I have a Rieger's bottle. The entire bottle is intact. Did not bust. It's still in there. But the bottom of it, there's like a chunk wedge of glass that's just missing.
Just out of the base?
Add a photo of the base of it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a huge mess.
So, yeah, I lost 16 bottles in total. Couple of bottles I didn't think we were going to be replacing, but we were able to find them. We'll get into those later on.
Yeah.
But Aberlour was one of those that I liked it enough. I actually went to the store. I was hoping I could find it, which I found it pretty easily. But then I was like, you know what? As good as that was, maybe this is the opportunity to try another expression from Aberlour. And they had this one, and I think it was like $3-4 different than just the standard 12 year. So I'm like, sold.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
And you said that the Gaelic translation for Casg was
rare cask.
Rare cask.
Yeah.
Now you know. Now you speak Gaelic. It's
Ask
for the
your
podcast.
Ask your mom.
Don't ask your mom unless you like Scotch.
I'm going to read a little bit just to have a little bit of context on Aberlour.
There we go.
When we first discovered them, I had never heard of them before, but thought it was just a cool and kind of a unique bottle because it's a little bit squattier, a little bit fatter neck on it.
Talk about near the bottle.
Well, you know.
They're both.
And so this is a Speyside Scotch. There is no age statement on this particular one. It does come in at 96 proof, and it is a single malt Scotch whiskey. So translated as rare cask in Gaelic, Casg is created from a limited number of carefully selected casks. These Spanish oak Oloroso sherry cask butts have a significant...
I'm in.
Oloroso.
Okay.
No, you're talking about sherry cask butts. Yeah.
Have a significant influence on the non-chill filtered liquid and perfectly complement Aberlour's distillant flavor, bringing sweet and rich notes.
Pause for pop.
Can't be mad at that. Casg Annamh is a distinctly rich single malt, providing adventurous malt lovers with the ideal introduction to sherry cask matured whiskeys. Carefully distilled by Aberlour in Scotland and bottled at 48 ABV, this is a well-rounded single malt Scotch meant to be enjoyed by spirit enthusiasts and novice alike.
I think that's about right.
Oh man, yep, that's got a great.
That little swirl action, so I can see the legs. That smells well. That's a mix with the wife's hand soap up there in the bathroom. So it's like, midwinter nights, fucking charcoal, take a blast. It's delightful, but it's not.
What I like about that is there's a very, very distinct sherry aroma on the nose, but it's not overpowering. It really is amazing. Balanced well with everything else.
Yeah, so it's sherry right off the top, like a nutty, fruity, like dark fruit nut, fucking nut explosion.
It's like fruitcake.
Yeah.
That's really good. Good legs.
Mm-hmm.
What do we say here? Sherry.
It's a little hot. You can tell it's got some, because you said it's 48 APV?
Mm-hmm. 96 proof.
Okay. That's not bad at all.
No, that's good.
No, and when you compare that to a lot of scotches, that's actually a little bit more on the higher side.
Mm-hmm. Just a tad bit.
So many scotches are typically in that 86 wheelhouse.
85 to 90-ish.
Yeah.
And then anything above that is like that kind of the hotter ones that they barrel. It's actually, I've been to the distillery.
Nice.
Yeah, I have pictures. We just went to the, what do you call it? It's like the guest, like just kind of the welcome center.
Okay. Uh-huh.
They don't do tours. You can't tour. You get to go in the shop, and they have a bunch of cool stuff. But
it's a cool looking facility. Yeah. The picture that they've got on the homepage of the website is just amazing. I mean, it's literally like right there on the cliff by the sea.
When you roll up to it, it's very quaint because like it's driving through Scotland. It's really tight roads, and then it's just like this stone wall that says Aberlour, and then this cute little Harry Potter ass house, and you just go in there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
The one on Privet Drive.
Yeah. Hagrid. It's not quite Hagrid's, but
yeah, that's when he lived with his aunt and uncle. All right, so do you have the tasting notes and
I've got some notes
because I've got some here.
Okay. Well, as we go through them, we can kind of compare.
Okay, cool. It says here the look, which I agree, golden amber.
Okay.
I would totally agree with that.
The notes I have here say ruddy amber.
Ruddy amber?
I'm not really sure what ruddy.
Ruddy's like a redhead. You talk about a ruddy person, they're a redhead.
I think it's on the lighter side of amber than more red.
The aroma, rich with tangy orange. I wrote orange zest. Glazed cherries.
I don't know if I get that.
I wrote fruit cake and nuts. So I mean, you add glaze to cherries. Maybe that's how you get fruit cake.
Yeah.
So I've got
and notes of ginger.
Okay. So I've got here the aroma is addictive with notes of brown butter, roasted nuts, marmalade, and more dried red fruits.
Okay. So
yeah,
I should have said.
And then I also have
dried,
exactly what you just read.
Dried stone fruit. Well, it's not strown fruit. Stone fruit.
Let's get this on the palate, and then let's talk about this guy a little bit.
Yeah. Cheers, genitals.
Cheers.
Okay.
Oh my.
The peatiness carries through. Lightly peaty. It's just like, ooh.
Yeah, it's hint o' peat.
Ooh, that finish came in beautifully. My God.
And that's what I've really actually, as much as I love a really good hearty Islay Scotch, I love Speysides for the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
The peatiness is typically very subtle.
Yeah.
And everything, and almost plays a backup dancer to all the other flavors, but you know it's still there.
The thing, the Speyside thing to me is that kind of zesty, oily thing when I have Speysides, and that does that quite well.
It's got a little bit of an oily feel on the palate.
Yeah.
You think so?
Just a little bit. I mean,
it coats.
Yeah. It lives
sticks
there
with you. Yeah.
maybe I've misrecognized oily coating or whatever for, spice. Like spicy notes, like a peppery spice.
So speaking of that, the notes that I've got here say the mouthfeel is viscous and oily, and the flavor profile reminds us of baking spices, toasted granola cluster, dark chocolate, peach cobbler with a drying tannin on the back palate. Sweet and fruity flavors of apple and cinnamon crumble balanced with spicy notes of licorice and cloves.
All right, licorice.
I get the licorice, especially on the back end, and that tannin.
And clove.
Yeah. I almost want to say like anise, whatever that spice is. But clove makes it better. It's very spiced. It's very zesty. Like it.
I think that ginger comes screaming out on the palate.
On the palate.
Yeah. I think it's there as a hint on the nose, but the spiciness of ginger is there.
Yeah.
And I think it is actually working
the notes on the
peach cobbler kind of a
The notes on the back
flavor.
of the sleeve here say the taste is sweet with apples, peaches, cinnamon, and a touch of spicy licorice. How do you pronounce it?
Licorice?
Okay. Even though there's no SH, no SCH, it's ICE, licorice.
I won't. Yeah, never mind.
Liquor, damn near killed her.
Haven't licked her eyes in a while.
And the finish, we haven't talked about the finish notes. I just think it's not sugary sweet, it's fruity sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost taste that like orange peely kind of thing on it.
Yeah, it's like that orange marmalade carries through the whole thing.
I think it's a medium length finish, but there's a spiciness to it that's kind of like that Pop Rocks candy.
Pop Rocks candy is spicy.
Well, just that little bit of
mayonnaise.
That little bit of a tingle. That you get with that candy.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
getting that. It's the spice and the bite of good ginger.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Slightly bitey, maybe I should write down.
Yeah, I think it's that peppery. It's not long in the malty way scotches can be. It lingers more in that spicier kind of way, in that the ginger, like they said, cinnamon and things like that. I can see that. The smokiness is only up front to me. The peatiness. I
agree with that.
Almost more on the nose, little less on the tongue. Still on the tongue, but it's gone. The finish is all the spice, that oiliness, those tannins. Like I feel more of that on the back end, but it's not it's not lingering. Like I need to go back to it to re-up it. Whereas some things, I mean, especially like on ryes, I feel like it can last a long time.
Yep.
Which the scotch, a lot of scotches I feel like can last a while. This one's pretty quick. It's in and out. It's a good pour.
And I like that. I mean, it also makes it to where you can move on to your next pour.
Oh no.
And be okay.
I mean, that is really good.
It's a great finish to me.
It's got bitters too on the end. Like it's a little bitter on the end. Man, you guys are pros. Like, I just drink. You guys, I'm looking at it. I feel like
you've got to.
What do you guys take into consideration on the bottle? Is it just not only the packaging but the bottle itself?
You know what? We didn't talk about the bottle presentation on this at all. It's what we would typically call this like a handbell, Christmas handbell kind of thing, style bottle, slightly tapered, not exactly shouldered, but thick necked.
Yeah,
which is really cool. We don't really see a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
It's got a nice dark topper, natural cork.
We're kind of all over the place when it comes to
thick
presentation.
Wax dick.
I mean, everything kind of goes.
Dip.
Wax dick.
Wax dick.
We like the embossment.
The embossing.
Yeah.
A unique label, really something that really catches the eye, which this does. It's got a lot of cool information on here. It's got triple cask matured, 48% handwritten on here. It's got the batch number 0010.
I think I probably out of the two of us,
distiller's signature right here.
Out of the two of us, I think I probably get fixated more on the actual graphic design elements a little bit more. But yeah, we talk about the embossed glass.
And the QR code is shaped like a bug. Like I don't think I've seen that before.
So when we
that's really
when we first took off, I was sitting here and I was like, that QR code is the shape of the bottle. That's really kind of cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, right down to the shorter, wide neck part of it. Make sure your glass is dry. Do a little something called second nose.
I just feel like the nose I've had better. The nose is good, but I couldn't give it that high of a score.
It's
good.
I don't disagree with that.
It's good, but like, do you think Macallan noses extremely well compared to that? I think they're very similar.
I wouldn't know.
They're very similar.
You don't know? You don't drink Macallan?
I have not.
It's the Bud Light of scotches. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is everywhere, but it's pricey.
Well,
depending
good
on
ones are.
Yeah,
Good ones are. I won't drink anything below an 18. I don't fuck with it.
right. Well, it's kind of the law in most states.
Not in Kansas. Woo!
What's the difference between a chickpea
God damn it.
and a garbanzo bean? Good times.
That's exactly why I decided I'm not going to replace my Glenlivet 12.
Yeah.
Had a pour out of it. It was all right.
It's good.
Yeah.
Baseline scotch. Baseline scotch.
Absolutely.
Not bad.
And nothing more. And there's a lot that I can actually get that's actually way better for the same price.
100%.
For the same price as a Glenlivet 12, I could do a Bruichladdich Bruichladdich Classic Laddie. Have you had the Port Charlotte 10 year?
Oh, yeah. I have one at the house right now. It's so good.
Behind us.
Yeah, you
Sitting
can buy.
back here whispering, talking shit.
Yeah.
Fucking on me.
You can get a Devron for $30. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I've compared $50 bottles to $1,200 bottles and not told people which one's which. And everybody's going, man, what's this? This one's amazing. That's got to be the expensive one, right? I'm like, no.
Blinds are awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
before we go any farther, let's talk about this guy.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about
you've known him
yourself.
for about 20 years.
Known him for a minute or two.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yep.
Over 2 decades. I'm a producer, engineer, musician, songwriter, that whole thing. I met.
Come in handy.
It can. It does. But I met Wayne through my brother. They were in a band together, 1 Degree Difference, and I was just kind of getting started producing. And I was lucky enough to work with them, and just, like my brother's friends that are cool, they became my friends, and we just maintained a relationship.
Yeah.
So, and
So you probably know Mitch.
yeah, I do know Mitch. I do know. And we went to my brother's wedding, and we got hammered, all of us together, and then
Why am I not surprised?
yeah, Mitch and
Not just one night either.
no, many nights. There's actually like a band photo shoot from that wedding. It's funny.
I'm going to put that on now.
Yes.
All right.
It is solid. Jared Leto looking ass brother of mine. Great guy. But yeah, like I've known him for forever, and I've been in the scene. They were like more of a functioning band when I'm younger than my brother by 2 years, and I got started late, but I was in a different scene. They were more active rock metal, and I was in like the punk, hardcore, pop punk world. And so I was just in a different, I was like, Warped Tour land. So, but yeah, it all meets.
What's wrong with that?
No, I mean, there's a lot wrong with Warped Tour, but
You fast forward to the last, even the last 10 years, so many of those things have kind of just overlapped and blended. And
so you remember when everybody was like ashamed of, like, I grew up listening to Korn. Like, everybody had to like back off and be like, no, Lamb of God's cool now. Like, or they had to back off of it. That's gone. I feel like. I think people are like, no, I listen to Limp Bizkit. Fuck you.
I've
like,
never denied loving Korn.
Exactly.
Or Limp Bizkit, honestly.
Yeah.
I went back recently and listened to that first album.
It's
I'm
so
driving
good.
55 and a 35, and I don't even realize it. But the same thing happens with Hollywood Nights when I'm listening to Bob Seger.
dude, to this day, I still tell everybody that if I were to say top 5 concerts memories that I've got, I have to cite, and I think it was like 98. It was Primus's tour, the Brown album tour.
Oh, damn.
And Limp Bizkit was their opening act. They were at the Beaumont Club. Limp Bizkit played for 15 minutes as the opening band. And Fred Durst did this on his mic stand.
I heard he used to be afraid of
He
it.
never made eye contact with the crowd.
He was terrified.
Yeah.
Wes Borland looked like an alien even back then.
Yeah.
but they threw it out. No one, and that $3 bill had not broke yet, so no one had a clue as to who they were, what they sounded like. They threw down and stomped a mud hole. They played a 15-minute set. To say that you saw Limp Bizkit and they played for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Wild.
So, hands down, phenomenal show before anyone knew who they were. And and I'll never forget watching Fred Durst do this, and because he did not want to make eye contact with the crowd, and just basically kind of teetered back and forth on his mic stand, and that was what he did.
Might have been on some hardcore psychedelics too. You ever move from like one space to another, and there's like people, and there's heat, and there's noise, and lights, And
then you on it now?
No.
Okay.
And then again, like I said, you had the alien on guitar over on the side.
Yeah.
Right. Which would freak me out.
Dude, did you hear my brother and I's Limp Bizkit story?
I don't think so.
So 107.3.
Okay.
Remember them? Some reason we got tickets, but the tickets came with a early meet and greet to meet Seven Dust because they were promoting the self-titled.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so my brother and I'm 12, he's 14. We have no fucking business being there alone, and we're there. And so they're like, you got to go on the bus. You got to go to the bus, hang out with the band. And we're like, no buses are labeled. So we're knocking on buses, and it's Clutch, Limp Bizkit, and Seven Dust.
Wow. I think I just got pregnant.
Yeah.
What a lineup, dude. Wow.
It was rad.
There may have been some herb on some of those buses.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold. So my brother knocks on the first bus door, and Wes Borland and paint and the whole thing opens the door. Yeah. And my brother goes, is this the Seven Dust bus? And he goes, get the fuck out of here, kid. Shuts the door. And we both like look at each other like, oh shit. And then we see LJ and we get waved onto their bus. Their bus had a crack in the back lounge and it's snowing through the roof because they were like just touring on like nothing. They're just trying to make it. And LJ was being really cool to us. I think Morgan Rose tried to offer us beer. And then realized, oh, these kids are like fucking 12. And they're like, get them Gatorades. Yeah, exactly. He's like, never mind. And we had these.
Boys like Mexico.
Just kidding.
We had these books that our mom made us make called Books of Stuff. And we had to put all these memories in there. And my brother and I both like Seven Dust. And he had a picture from the Guitar World magazine. And he had Clint and John sign it.
That's awesome.
So fast forward, I'm doing a guest vocal where LJ's singing on a record. And it's my first time hanging out with him, like, since that moment. And I go, hey, do you remember? And he goes, oh, my God. He goes, you guys were, like, kids. And you got on, and our bus, it was snowing in the back lounge. We had all these people. He goes, it was chaos. And I was like, he's like, Morgan's trying to give you beers. I'm like, no, they're kids. And he's like, oh, no. And I was like, you remember that? Like, after all these years, he remembered every last bit of it. And LJ and I have been friends ever since.
That's
like,
so cool.
So, yeah, wild story with Limp Bizkit and them. But your turn.
I met him behind, it was at, the theater down there, Midland Theater. Fritz brought me with him from 98.9. He brought me with him to see Seven Dust side stage, but I mean, we had already seen In This Moment play, and so, I mean, it was fun watching them like wheel all of their shit up on the stage. The curtain was drawn and nobody out there could see anything. But like, I love all the backstage stuff, all the setup, and like all the production that goes into it. I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. So like, you see them all line up kind of in front of the curtain there, and they're like, standing in their different positions behind the what's her name, Maria Brink, and which is wildly different. Show experience from when I first saw them. It was at Sprint Center. They came with Ozzy. I think Ozzy was the first rock band to play at Sprint Center when they finally opened it. But they brought Maria and crew with them in This Moment, and she was wearing like Alice in Wonderland costume. And
was that the show where she was in the light blue?
Yeah,
baby doll
dressed
dress,
up like Alice, and then. They pointed out that their bass player was from the KC proper area or something. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. Rock on, dude, but whatever. Anyway, so flash forward. And so we go, after Seven Dust plays, we go back, and it was with Fritz and the Bob, big fucking Sasquatch.
Edwards.
And so we're back there, and then LeJean comes out and is like, hey guys, what's up? And I'm like, hey. awesome, good to finally meet you. Been loving your shit for fucking years. And I didn't want to tell him that I had an old circus magazine where it had the singer for Head PE photoed, and like he's sitting there with his microphone on the stage, fucking looking at everybody with white contacts. And it said, Seven Dust debut album coming up soon. And I remember I didn't want to bring that up, fuck. But man. Yeah, I would have loved to have him sign that now that I think about it. I know this is completely wrong. It's like having Tommy Lee sign the Pam and Tommy tape.
Yeah. Hey, can you sign this?
I know this is totally fucked up, but for me, I'll get a kick out of it. What the fuck are you? Get out of here.
That's funny.
But yeah, gave him a download card for the Into Existence debut album.
Awesome.
He stuck it in his wallet. Thank you for, making me feel like you care.
He probably listened to it knowing LJ.
You think so?
Guaranteed. Yeah. Yeah. And he probably remembers your name exact. Dude, that guy remembers everybody.
That's cool.
Well,
I've never heard a bad anything about really any of them from Seven Dust.
I forget what year it was, but there were several years. But when they were the headliner for Rockfest down at the Liberty Memorial.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was also in MySpace heyday, and I ended up getting the opportunity to work with a photographer and do a MySpace theme for Seven Dust.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm.
And then you fast forward to just a couple years ago, we're up in Sturgis at the Full Throttle, and we're walking around and talking with people backstage where all the tour buses were. And Johnny Dare and LeJean and a few other people come walking by there, and we're talking, and through conversation, he's like, same thing. He's like, yeah, you did some design work for us. I need to talk to you, and which he never got back to me on, but that's all right. But
well, I mean, you brought up Johnny Dare, and
super
as many
cool
times as LeJean and the gang have been on the morning show. He always says after they hang up, the greats will always be great. You just don't find people like that in that business that are like that will remember you decades later.
Yeah. LJ's a sincerely genuine, super awesome guy.
Mm-hmm. I drink to him, but hell,
sounds like we need a new drink.
Got second nose here.
Yeah, we started doing this thing not that long ago on second noses.
Yeah,
grain oats.
After the Glencairn glass dries, we have found that so many other things kind of just show up.
Cereal dominant. I'm not sure I'm picking up anything else. Even
I get a little fruit, but it's very grain.
A lot of granola.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, it's like cold rolled oats with peaches, no cream.
What did you give this on the nose?
On the nose, I gave it a 4.5. I was wowed, and I was wowed almost to a 5, but not quite. So that's why I got a 4.5.
I gave it 4 1/4.
4 1/4? Mm-hmm. How about you, Mr. Josh?
3.5.
3.5. 3.5 is right there in the middle.
Yeah, that's how it is to me. Like that Speyside, it's right down the middle. It's nothing I haven't smelled, and it's not the best of that smell, to my opinion. So it's good.
That's fine. Palate. What'd you give it on the palate?
I gave it 4 1/2. Okay. I like the palate. There was a lot of everything from the orange marmalade, the oily mouthfeel was really great. It coats, and then on the backside of that into the finish, that little bit of that tingle, that ginger spiciness
ginger
that you
spice
get,
kind of tingle. Yeah,
I really enjoy. So yeah, 4 1/2.
Yeah, I bumped mine up to a 4.75. I loved how some of the tasting notes on the palate showed up that weren't even available on the nose, and I thought that was really cool. Like like the licorice and clove, that wasn't on there. Ginger, peppery and oily. We talked about oiliness a little bit, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe the pepper, maybe it all kind of belongs together because I'm feeling the burn. So I really liked that. I liked how it presented itself in a different way. How about you, Josh?
Yeah, I think palate-wise, I gave it a 4 because as far as Speysides go, it is a little bit above normal, but it's not. When I go to a Speyside, I'm really looking for that peppery. I can taste the Speyside area of Scotland, and it's all based on the water it's by and what they source. That one's really good, but it is more Highlandy than it is Speyside to me on the palate because it's got that malty, that cherry, that orange that I'm used to getting out of a Dalmore or something like that. But still really good. It's in the upper range for sure.
Now, I have yet to have the opportunity to visit Scotland. It is definitely on my list, seeing how that's where my heritage is from. But my understanding is the Speyside area really is a little bit of a notch out of the Highlands area.
It's just to the east side of it, and it's very tiny, but it has a high concentration of distilleries. Oban, Aberlour.
I love Oban.
Oban's been there too. Yeah. Great
It's
photos.
like this for the Italians.
Yeah, hey. Speak for my people, come on.
My Oban bottle survived.
40 to 23 in me.
My Oban 14 bottle survived the catastrophe. So I was thankful for that.
That brings us to we can go finish.
Yeah, I just gave it just an even 4.
Even 4? Okay, that's not bad at all. So you were wowed by it?
I don't know if I'd say I was wowed by it, but I liked it enough that I thought a 4 made sense to it. For this one, I really like it's got a medium length finish that has a lot to offer, but yet when it's done, it packs its bag and it hits the door, and you're good to go to a pour of whatever else you need next, and you're fine.
Yeah. Well, for me, Speysides and Highlands, like the Highland Park 12 that we did so long ago, it was those hit me perfect. I really like those a lot, and so I kept mine at a 475.
Nice.
I had to give it a 4 because although it is really good, that's the beginning of the night Scotch to me. Yep. That's my first pour, and then we get into the better stuff as we go along. It's not that it's not a good pour, but as far as their line goes, I think Aberlour's probably got something that's a little bit more like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I would guess they would, because this, it's finished in, what were the casks?
Sherry.
Some kind of sherry.
Oloroso sherry.
Oloroso sherry cask. So this is more of a, limited, exhibition, special release.
Yeah.
It's better than I think it's as good as their 12, if not a little bit better.
Yeah.
They have a 15, 18, and at least a 21.
Did we get an age statement on this?
There is no age statement.
No age statement?
No.
That's all right.
It is procured from a very select handful of barrels, but no age statement.
Can't age them when you're changing from American barrels and the Oloroso sherry. You can't get an age on it.
Right. Yeah. How about bottle presentation?
I went ahead and gave it 4 3/4.
4 3/4. Okay.
It's a cool, semi-uniquely shaped bottle.
Yeah.
I love the thick glass and the thicker neck and topper on there.
We have seen
and
one
it comes
before,
in a tube.
I think. Really similar to that bottle style. I think we've seen one like that.
But yeah, the Aberlour that was smashed all over my floor a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Same bottle, different color wax dip on there, but exact same type of bottle.
The wax matches the tube. Curtain matches the drapes. So yeah, I gave it a 5 because look at it. The topper. I like natural cork. Nothing against fake cork. Composite. I like how these colors match. I like it came in a tube. I'm a fan. I like it. How about you?
I went with a 4.5 because I want to give room for people who do ornate boxes.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't want to go all that because I have a couple that are like the big latches and the bottles turn when you open it. And I feel like you need to reserve that last 0.5 for that. As far as presentation, it's a hefty bottle. It does come in a tube. It doesn't have like the standard tin top. It actually has some design put into it. And like you guys pointed out. Yeah, look at it. It's textured. Everything is a textured print.
Yep.
And the dip, you saw how hard it was to get that thing should ship well.
Chip thumbnail.
Yeah. So I think it's a great bottle. It's a very traditional Scotch bottle.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very, that's a very, hey, we're saving money on the bottling. Once you get into others that have like the thinner profile and the longer neck, then you're getting into like those 1600, like the Lagavulins that have been around for forever. But that's a very working man's bottle. That's going to last. That's going to travel well. So I think it's a great. And then Boss on the front.
Working man. Did we talk about the MSRP on this?
We did not. I think it was right about $60.
$60. That's a decent working man price bottle. So what was your final score?
8.75.
Okay, all right. Well, mine came in at 9.5 because I was clearly more jazzed than these guys.
I'm a snob, but it came out at 8.
Right at 8.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on this? We talked about it. We talked about the distillery, where it's from. It's a Speyside. It's close to the Highland area. It's surrounded by multiple distilleries.
Stellar pour. And I'm looking forward to revisiting it from time to time.
I think this is just a little bit higher brow than an entry Scotch. I think this one has a little bit more complex of a flavor. I would push somebody who's not into Scotch into something a little bit more malty and a little bit more birthday cakey. But this is when you want to start venturing into that, tasting the actual water around the country, this is a good pour.
I haven't told Josh that my lovely wife, on her own, and I keep telling her from time to time, it's not expected. It's not. You don't have to do this. If you have a bad day or whatever, don't feel obligated. But she, without failure, always is upstairs making us a nice, tasty treat to enjoy at some point in the evening.
Of course she is.
So we will have a treat before too long.
She's the sweetest person.
Yeah, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Yeah, Miss Katie is a saint. And if you're watching this and you have any special treat recipes you want to send our way, please do. info@savortheburn.com. You can email that right to us, or if you want to email it to me personally, if it's pumpkin or cherry or banana bread recipes, feel free to email me, Jonathan@savortheburn.com, or send them to Wayne, W2@savortheburn.com. This is Josh. If people want to get a hold of you for you and your services, narrow it down real quick. Let people know what exactly it is that you do and how they can get a hold of you if they want to.
Well, I'm a record producer. I've worked with bands like the Devil Wears Prada, Norma Jean. I've worked with LJ on a Daughtry cover of, what was that? It's the Temple of the Dog song.
Hunger Strike.
Yeah, we did that, which went to a charity. I've worked with Tech 9. I've worked with Hit the Lights, Everything in Slow Motion. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. I'm going to get yelled at by a bunch of people. There was a lot of bands. So
that's all right, because we have more episodes coming up with you.
So what?
Chris Calico?
Yeah. Oh, well, anybody on Strange.
Yeah.
I worked with, I even tracked vocals for Jelly Roll on something.
That Strange roster.
Yeah.
It's deep and it's wide. He knows how to pick them.
Oh, yeah. And then the artists that come through, like I got to work with Joyner Lucas and SZA because they just came through and did some stuff. This close to working with Lady Gaga. Didn't happen.
Lady Gaga. That would be nice to have on your resume.
Yeah, it would have been sick, but she was tired. So, but
Henry would have been your new best friend.
She loves the Gaga, huh?
Henry loves Gaga.
Okay.
I loved her in A Star Is Born.
I didn't see that.
He has latched onto her latest single, Disease.
Oh, it's good. He.
I don't think I've heard that one yet.
And the Bruno Mars duet.
No, I haven't heard that.
She's unfuckwithable as far as a female vocalist in her world. Like there's nothing. It's not my thing, but like
definitely.
I mean, she's unstoppable. She's great. So
I have no complaints. No complaints. So how did they get a hold of you?
I think the best way is do something that I can take notice of. So if you make waves, I'll find you. But also Instagram @TheAmericanJosh.
Okay.
That's me. You can watch me bitch about the music industry and put up photos of knobs and all sorts of stuff.
Photos of knobs.
Yeah.
Does this one go to 11?
Oh, yeah. If you twist it hard enough, anything will go to 11. You know.
Boy, howdy. Well, if any of this sounds good to you, I know it sounds good to us. Please leave us a comment, leave us a like, share it with your friends. Go tell it on the mountain, mother licka. So until next time, no matter who you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget, keep on burning.